time once again when we meet here on this platform, Deltascope, a weekly magazine program that plays host to economic, social, and political stakeholders in the Delta State Development Project. My name is Onome Iyarowe. I welcome you on behalf of the producer and the production team. This week on Deltascope, we met with an amazing personality, an accomplished nurse, one who's had a very successful and robust nursing career, having served both in Nigeria and in diaspora. She's also an astute politician and administrator. She has to her credit so much that will amaze you. Her political career spans decades. Yes, so many decades. Having started from the grassroots, she's the one we can describe as a grassroots politician to the core, highly respected, intelligent, vibrant, beautiful, and outspoken. I'm talking about Chief NKEM Patience Okwoofo Agumwani, the Lioness. When a crew of Deltascope met with her, she shared with us both her personal contributions and collective contributions to the development of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Delta State, and by extension, in developing Delta State and taking it to greater heights. This interview will interest you because there's so many things she shared with us. Let's join.
Welcome, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's start from the beginning, from your days in Baptist Girls High School. That's way back 1960, 63 to 66, am I correct?
Yeah, 66.
66. And you left and went to nursing school of nursery in Benin. After that, you became a nurse, and you left the shores and went to UK for further studies. Tell us about your nursing career.
Yeah, you said it. I left here having qualified already as a registered Nigerian nurse.
Yes.
I left the shores to join my husband in London. And of course, when I got there, I started making an attempt to get into the School of Nursing,
Yes.
which I did. I went to Buckland Hospital in Dover
Okay.
to do my midwifery.
Yes.
I did part 1 midwifery there, left there to Bradford-on-Avon to do my part 2, and then qualified. After which I took up the first appointment in St. Thomas's Hospital, London. That's the first hospital in London, started by Florence Nightingale. And so I was very privileged to be allowed amongst so many white people, of course, very few blacks who were allowed to work there. I happened to have been one of those fortunate to be employed there, and that was where I started my nursing in England.
And you came back home and started as a nurse.
I came back home, set up Benoni Hospital.
Oh, okay.
Benoni Hospital in the GRA. Setting it up with the standard of the hospitals we had abroad. And I worked there for quite a while and left to set up Aswan Hospital in First Circular Road and also try to bring it to that sort of standard. I was there when some expatriates came to the hospital to use the facilities and lured me into coming to run their clinic at the highways. These were expatriates that worked on federal highways.
Okay.
And so they tempted me with very good salary, and I left to go and set that up. And I was there until I opted into trying the rough waters of politics.
That's way back in the 80s.
80s, early 90s. Yeah, you're right. It's 80s.
Yes. When you became a councillor?
Yes, I was a councillor in 1987 to 1989.
Yeah. That was the era of zero party.
I actually was voted in through zero party.
Okay.
And then since then, by the grace of God, I have not looked back. I continued from there and was fortunate to be appointed by late Chief Olorogun Felix Ibru as the only female commissioner in his cabinet of 10 commissioners.
For special duties.
For special duties.
Okay, let's go back a bit. How was the transition like from being a medical personnel? At what point you decide, okay, I'm okay with injections and needles and the syringes. Let me try my hands in politics. I mean, what informed that decision?
I really didn't do that. I took some leave of absence. My going into politics was because I was challenged. I went to the council. The council then, Ogwashuku was our headquarters. The places had not been split to Anyocha North and South. Anyocha was Anyocha. I went to the council to look for some things. I can't remember exactly, but I went for something. And somebody debased me to that level where I felt, what is here that I cannot, also come into?
Yes.
So it was like a challenge. I felt insulted, and I felt I'll go there and meet that same person there. That was actually what informed my going to politics. I never ever thought I would be in politics. I never understood it. I never thought about it, but I needed to be there to challenge that person back.
Okay.
And so
And challenge you did, and you got in there?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I got in there. The same person who challenged me could not be voted in. So I ended up not being able to do what I wanted to do.
Okay.
But I satisfied myself that I was able to win the election.
Okay. All right. Okay. So after that, still you became a member of the SDP.
That's true.
Yes. And that's Johnny. How did you become the only female commissioner? Because you're commissioner of special duties. And that was like 3 months or 6 months.
For special duties,
Yes.
I was commissioner for special duties throughout the tenure.
Okay.
Yes, even when I had, of course, special duties, you had very many other functions given to you, because we were handling special duties. But special duties was really special duties at that time, with so much, responsibility. Comes left, right, everywhere. And so it wasn't a mean position like people thought. Indeed, when I was made commissioner for special duties, some friends said I would rather take that, so I should resign. I know Mrs. Babangida sent a message to me then to say, no, why special duties? You come, we'll give you something at the federal level. But of course, anything I put my hand in, I wanted to try it out and convince myself that I would do well. And I told her not to bother. Since I was a member of ESCO, I would definitely make an impact in ESCO, and they will know my worth.
Okay.
And so I continued. Talking about leaving injections to politics, I never actually left injections to politics because I had a maternity home in my home, Pat Cottage maternity home, and any free time I had, I went home to deliver babies and all that. And I still give injections till date. So it's not as if I've left.
Not political injections.
No. So I have never abandoned it. A nurse is always a nurse forever. And I'm always very proud that that's my primary constituency. You find that on May Day, each time they march, I join them to march.
Oh.
Every May Day, I join the nurses to march.
All right, so that was then.
Let me say that it was that basic training of the nurse, of the then nurse, which made you almost capable of doing everything because of the standard of learning. And then my Nigerian training combined with my British training prepared me for anything. So when I got into politics, I didn't see anything really much different than that you had to be dedicated to what you were doing. You have to be loyal to people you meet there. You have to respect the hierarchy and do the best you can, contribute the best you can. And I dare say that is what has got me where I am, by the grace of God.
You are also a member of the Evaluation Committee on DFRI, that's Director for Food. So I'm taking you back. Director of Food and Rural
Development, Infrastructure.
Under AVM Larry Cohen.
Yes.
This is quite an experience. I mean, I think you're the only woman in that Evaluation Committee.
Yes. That again came from the point that as a Special Duties Commissioner, anything could be given to you to handle. And this was part of what, after my governor tried me out for a while, he now decided to add that to my responsibilities and warning me that it was a very vast responsibility. I needed to be on my toes. Anything I do in life, by the grace of God, I like to be challenged. I do better under challenges and under criticism. And so I didn't want to fail him. It was quite a large area to work in. That is looking after all railroads in the whole state. And I had to determine whatever will happen, where we'll walk, go around. That means going around the whole state continuously, because you have to know the level of development, the level of work being done in every project. We didn't quite have these people from Ministry of Works going around to inspect and all that. We were the ones inspecting. Yes, they will come, but we were the main people inspecting. And we worked with a man, Larry Cohen, who was also a very, very hard-working man. And working with a workaholic of that nature, you also needed to breeze up. We enjoyed the fatherly relationship with him. I did with him. But then you must do your work. And when you do your work well, of course, he falls in love with your job. There's no problem. There's no problem at all.
Hi, welcome to my new Delta. This past 4 years has been so amazing with Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa as governor. Lots of entrepreneurial and wealth opportunities has been created in the state. Infrastructural developments in all sectors. Over 200 roads have been completed, highways and urban roads. Primary health care has greatly been improved upon. Now you can get health support with ease. Even the educational sector was not left behind. It has received tremendous boost. The state has now become a sport destination. This past 4 years has been so amazing in Delta State. Who knows what the next 4 years will look like? Come with me. Let's create a stronger Delta with Senator Dr. Arthur Ifeanyi Okowa, my governor.
Then you came back as a commissioner for culture and tourism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are the beginning of democracy, setting up civil structures.
Yes, I was pioneer commissioner for culture and tourism, and that was a very sensitive job.
Tell me something.
Also very sentimental job. Something I didn't mention when I was commissioner for special duties. The duties I've had to perform, and appointments I've had to be given have been so much of appointments that will touch on the lives of people. As Special Duties Commissioner, I was going around the whole state, where there was fire. You can imagine being called upon that, so market is burnt down. You needed to go there, and you get there and you meet people wailing, and their whole life savings just gone in a jiffy. And you needed a lot of emotions to be able to control the scenes of those sort of occasions and incidents. And I didn't like it at all. It was not palatable. And then there were air crashes where you had to go and meet women who had lost their breadwinners, their husbands. And those areas were very touchy to me. And if anything, those were the areas I didn't like in special duties. But then coming to culture and tourism, I had to establish a ministry that never existed, really, never really existed, because it was an attachment to Ministry of Information earlier on. And whatever you can see on ground today, by the grace of God, were what I put there. Up to this minute, I'm still very, very sentimental to that culture and tourism area. When the area of where the troops will come out, to perform in any place, I felt really close to them, very close to them. And sometimes you see them, they come in and they come to give me some a way of respect in an African manner. They come there, bow or kneel before me and hail. And they remember. I feel bad that I didn't last in that ministry, because I really had so much, to put into the people and the staff. We're already preparing to export our culture abroad. In fact, everything was already in top gear when, of course, unfortunately, we were disbanded. And Akore, I named it Akore, or we named it Akore, and that was taken from every tribe, an alphabet taken from every tribe in Delta State, and it was going smoothly. We loved ourselves. I invited people from outside the state to come and coach us, and we were there. The anchorage you see today, if you go there, you find that my name is still on it. It was just a concept. I just woke up inspired by the grace of God. That place was like a forest, and I'm developing this place. But I had a governor then who, don't forget that the first governor I worked with was Hebrew, yes. As I said, Olorugun Hebrew. The second one was Chief Ibori. And he believed in me a lot and gave me all the free hand to do what I wanted to do, being a new place that was virgin. And so at the time I was the only staff. And then after a while I had 2 more staff, and we started growing from there. And so that anchorage was almost converted to a forest. But we now came and made it what it is. Hopefully today, every concept you see there is from me. The graveyard, I don't know if you visited the place, the graveyard, the expatriate graveyard, we had to clay it, did it up, painted it, decorated it with all the names of the expatriates that were buried there. And we put it in the internet. The internet was just becoming a thing, a new thing at that time. We put it there, asking families in England to come around to see the graves of their relations. Published all the names into the internet, and many of them came responding. I remember one day a man who came broke down, one Mr. Smith, he broke down and cried so much because they knew their brother died in Africa, but they didn't know where, and they didn't know they could ever see the grave. And he felt that we had so taken care of the graveyard. The sentiments of that man, they recommended us for an award from the British government, and they gave us an award. It was very pleasant, it was very good. A commendation to the government, our government of the day, and we felt very elated. I really did wish, and I still wish, that place can be developed a lot further, because we're already getting tourists coming from everywhere to come and see the place, and it was meant to raise money to make some revenue to government. And beyond that, the Delta Tours vehicles, yes. I bought them at that time for our ministry. And it took a lot of convincing the government to allow us buy those vehicles. But Chief David Edewia was very instrumental to my being successful in buying those because we had to do a feasibility study. How much could we make? How can we use them? And eventually the governor approved it, and we bought them, Delta tours. And as soon as we bought them, there was an occasion in Delta State which involved all the West African countries' wives, presidents' wives. And of course they came here, and I made government to pay for the period of time they will use it. And there was followed a lot of events, athletic events came up. Government paid, not just government, everybody was paying for it. You hired them, you paid. And we're making good money. And I thought that at a point we could pay the staff from the monies that we made. Because it was so progressive and it was also foreign to our era. But somehow we left and
here we are.
Here we are, it's history.
Man, having been a commissioner for culture and tourism, is that an area we can exploit in this state outside oil?
From what I've just said,
yes.
In fact, outside oil, and indeed at that time, oil was there, but everybody was enjoying it. But I kept saying that ministry is a ministry, natural ministry, made by God. The things you use to earn money are there. It's just for you to know how to think of developing them to assist the state to make money. I tell you, for example, the fountains that were all around. I put all those fountains there. All those fountains were installed by me, were done by me. And I recall one of the happiest days I have in life was when the fountain became the one at the FMC roundabout. The fountain there, I finished it believing that my governor will approve it without asking for a dime from government. And Chief Obasanjo was president, and I was coming into Delta for a working visit. And the eve of his coming, that fountain came up with different colors and all that. And I was there as late as 8:30 or thereabout in the evening, going into the night. And my governor, Chief Ibori, was driving himself, still monitoring what was going on. And when he got there and saw the fountain, I said, "Who is doing this?" He had not seen it. It was meant to be a surprise. And they said, "It's culture and tourism." He parked his car and he came out with just a few people. He said, "Culture and tourism?" Of course, he knew in his mind that he had not approved anything for this. And he said, "Is she around?" They said, "Yes, she's over there." And he called me and I went there and he said, "Where did you get the money to do this?" I said, "Excellency, sir, I know you love it. By the time we finish, we can talk about that." And he shook hands with me. I said, "What? How come I didn't know about this?" And it was so good. It was a good feeling. And he stood there, watched this thing. The whole of Asaba virtually moved down there to see what is happening. It was pleasant. Of course, I enjoyed all those things I did, just to prove myself. And when the president came, of course, my governor said, "You will be in front because I really don't know what you have done. I can't explain much here." So going through there, the fountains, and then into the anchorage and everything, I was the one making the explanation with the Delta tours. And the president said, "This is what I've been looking for. Ibori, you have to borrow me this woman to Abuja to go and do some of these things." I said, "Sir, we'll talk about it." So what am I saying here? There are many, even up to this minute, and will be forever, things to develop culture, things to develop tourism, especially tourism. We'll travel out here to other countries. Some live purely on tourism issues. Things, you see them there. They've used their hands to convert it into tourism. We have them. They are bound everywhere, in every city, in every village, in Delta State, and indeed in Nigeria. It's just for government to think of areas beyond oil. What are the other practical areas that we can put together to make money to raise our IGR? We're asking people to raise IGR. Where are they going to raise it from? I recall some time ago they said, oh, build cemeteries all over and charge people. And when we tried it, they chased us out. So you want our people to start dying. But this we're talking of tourism is everywhere. Stones, this, you just need to clean them up, call it a name, fence it around. People go there and see. They pay money and go and see. Is that not what we go out to see?
Okay, man, I think we can go on and on because I can see your love for tourism. Then you left them and became the sole administrator of TBS. I'm taking you back.
That's good.
I mean, and you left some land merit, you left a lot of things down there. I mean, that's the DBS worry today. When I say with a child, I'm correct. How was that journey? Well, you had so much beautiful journeys in life.
Like I said earlier, if I said it, if I didn't say it, I'm saying it again. Or saying it now. I've had the luck of always being pushed into areas where there's difficulty.
Yes.
I'm often told, go there and repair it. Go there and put things right. I was appointed to DBS. I'm not a media person, like you know that I'm a nurse. A nurse by profession.
Yes.
But I also felt that was a good one. Initially I didn't really want to go, but I was spoken to and I went.